Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to another telling of Summit of Darkness in Dublin. This evening's scene takes place inside the house of Lord Aishar, the now fallen Tremere Lord of the former. Thank you, Chris, for showing us Demon the Fallen. Yes. The once Tremere Lord of the state of Louisiana. It is one of those old, great plantation houses that now seems to be made of rotting wood and congealing timber. However, as I've said, when you enter, you find a Baroque finery that, frankly, you weren't expecting. The two groups have agreed to separate into two search parties. The vampires have gone upstairs in order to try and find what truth they may there, whereas the demons have stayed on the ground floor level. This is a picture of the room in which you currently find yourselves. One moment. My mini cam decides to not murder itself. There it is. You currently find yourself in this room. It is the entranceway into Lord Aishar's home. There is the main door that is located just behind you, and a door to the left, a door to the right, as well as the stairs that leads up.
Can Nick, just as a rudimentary roll, can I get Nick to do a perception awareness check?
You don't even need to. This place is saturated with magic all around you. It's almost palpable. You can almost taste it.
Does it taste like Marmite?
No.
No.
Can I make a roll for Lore of the Wild 1 to get the layout of the place I'm at?
Yes, you can.
Sweet. I assume this will have the urban setting difficulty as opposed to the wilderness setting difficulty.
Correct.
Yeah. Survival. It's not the greatest dice pool in the universe. Yep. Not the greatest dice pool in the universe at all. Damn, 3 successes on 3 dice.
All right, this is deeply peculiar from your perspective. You reach out with your senses in order to understand the layout of the area that surrounds you. However, your senses are limited to literally the room you are standing in. Once it hits the walls, it goes no further. So you can tell there's a door there, and there's a stairs. You can't even tell what's on the second floor, even though the stairs itself is open and you can see it above you.
Awesome. So the sensation, sense of stuff around me only goes to line of sight.
Essentially, yes. Ironically, Barbara found this out the exact same way with another power that does basically the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely weird.
Yeah. The whole place is saturated with power, which I don't think I've felt for quite a long while, or at least not how it's manifesting here. I don't think it would be safe for us to just walk these corridors in just our mortal forms.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Okay. I think
So,
Nick would. Yes. Carry on.
Continue. No, you carry
Oh,
on.
carry on. Okay. All right. Okay. I was going to say, would Nick be able to roll his faith to evoke his apocalyptic form?
If you like to.
Okay, sure. Yeah, all successes.
I take it that you wish to manifest the low tormente epoch form.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, you are able to do that quite happily.
All right. If you need a description of Nick's apocalyptic form, I'll give it you.
I'm fine.
All right, fine. Yep. Short version, low torment version of lore of the Visage of Patterns. Wings, indigo colors, lovely. Very
Look at all the bright, shiny colors.
Yeah. I guess.
Come on, sorry.
I guess Brian will also roll for faith to see if he can get an apocalyptic form. All successes. So, his looks like basically when you start adding like the fur of the feline, like it actually looks more feline appearances that he kind of picked up, like claws, fur. Yeah. It's well, what more can you expect from a devourer? From a rose.
And Celia will also want to like use her APOC form. What I'm trying to find out before I do is, if I remember correctly, and I might not, is it possible to spend faith to activate your APOC form to avoid having to roll, or do you need to roll?
You can spend a point of faith to automatically do it reflexively, I believe.
Okay. I do not wish to risk this failing, so I will spend a point of faith. And if you use high torment, that is temporary. A point of temporary torment you gain, right?
Yeah. I actually. Is it only a point you gain, or is it more? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I
it's
believe
just
it.
1 point.
Yeah. I think it may be like 1 per trait that you of the high torment traits, but
It is?
let me double check.
No, I think it's just the 1 if you just like manifest. I think it's a 1-for-1, at least as far as like manifesting your high torment apocalyptic form and using a high torment version of one of your laws.
I hear laughing in the background.
It's Charles being loud and annoying, and I don't know why.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's just 1 point, no matter how many. So.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. Celia activates her high torment. Nice job, Mark. High torment APOC form, which means that she now has. Well, she's a walking masquerade breach, if there was such a thing, but that doesn't really matter here. Wings. Go on, sorry.
We have our own version of the delirium. It's called Revelation.
Yeah, but I mean that hardly matters here.
Yes.
Okay, that means wings, gaping maw, the host, scales, and voice of the damned.
All right. As Celia enters her APOC form, the lights that were shining into the room that appeared to denote a sunny day outside suddenly turn black, and you all start to feel incredibly cold. Would you all please make me stamina checks?
Just straight stamina?
Just straight stamina, difficulty 7.
Okay.
Does that increase anything? I don't remember if scales increase stamina. I don't think it does.
No, it increases soak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just increased soak.
What diff was that? Sorry, 6?
7.
7. Yay! I make it.
You still feel as though something is draining the life energies, or more aptly, the energies of faith from you. The house itself is physically sucking it out of you.
Just me or all of us?
All of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've managed to ward it off for now, but you don't know how long you'll be able to. At which point you'll see all of the doors surrounding you fly open, really as if they were being booted open or as if they were being forced open very quickly. The doors smash into the wall, though they don't break. And it simply leaves 2 points of entrance or egress open, either one to the left, one to the right, or in theory the front door, which is just behind you. You also very much get the impression that now, as opposed to a few moments ago, something is definitely watching you. And it seems hungry.
There's something definitely here. There's a danger close by. Let me look. Let me find out. Let me think. Okay, I think I'd like to do that sense congruence roll, if I may, Evan.
Cool. What do you want to sense?
Basically, sense danger to himself, anyone, well, anyone in the immediate in his immediate group.
Okay. How does the power function?
I need to roll perception plus intuition. Number of successes. Hang on, I just need to get the exact number of dice. I do get a bonus from being in apocalyptic. All right, it's an extra 2. Oops, hang on. Messed up the coding. 1, 2, 3. Yep, 3 successes on that one.
What's to do exactly?
Basically, as I said, I'm specifying what kind of event I'm trying to detect. Basically, a danger, kind of like a violent event that is likely to result in his immediate his permanent destruction, or in whichever way it manifests. With 3 successes, it's when, where the event will occur, as well as images of the people involved.
Oh, this is showing you the possible futures, basically.
That's not what I'm reading, but yeah, sure. Let's just go with it, because I don't want to take this scene go on too long.
Okay. Basically, you will have images flashing in your mind of a creature, though it doesn't. No, a creature is wrong. You can't actually see it. It's rather peculiar. It looks to simply be as if blackness itself had solidified, perhaps, and it is toying with you. Is the phrase that you would see. You see yourself running down long corridors, being chased by what looks to ostensibly be your own shadow, until such point as you turn a corner and then there is just darkness, oblivion, the end, snap.
Mm-hmm.
As for when, it's not really giving you a time. It's kind of looping around, as in, does time exist? Is time relative? Kind of, going to really high notions of the concept, basically.
Okay. What's the event that will trigger this?
It's already been triggered. Basically, the doorway was opened when one of you opened the doorway. Essentially, when the house perceived a threat or something it recognized, it released its guardian.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
Okay, Nick will then look towards the two of them. I think we should leave. The house has already detected a threat to it.
Celia nods. That's not a bad idea, I think.
If that's the case, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you guys are going to attempt to leave via the front door, I take it? Right behind you.
Are there any windows?
Not in this particular. You'd have to go into one of the other rooms, not in the entrance hall, no. Actually, no, there probably are, but none of them would be big enough for you to really shimmy through. But there's the front door, as I said, behind you. There's the stairs that's directly ahead, and then there's a door leading off into the right, which appears to be into some kind of dining room as you kind of look through it, and the door leading off to the left, which goes into maybe a games room. It's rather funny when you think about who owned this place, but you see a pool table in that room. So what you want to do, gents?
Celia looks at the others. If this place is intelligent, and its occupant definitely is, I think just the front door would be a mistake. He'll probably have prepared for that.
Possibly. Do we sense any magic coming from the front door?
There's magic coming from all around you. It's permeated into the very floorboards of this place.
Yeah. Let's see if I could tell him. Well, what's the best way out? Then he'll look at Nick. And we'll look at Nick.
Right. I'm just trying to think which evocation will probably give me the best option with this. 4C, I think. That'd be a wits intuition. I need to check my bonuses. Luckily, most of these are double. Oh, he's actually got a minus on this one, so never mind about +1. So
So what are we?
Ridiculous number of successes. Basically, read the tides of fate in his immediate area and predict events and actions are about to occur.
Okay. Okay.
I think
so. Sorry. Go ahead, Mark. I didn't mean to cut across.
I mean, I was just going to say. I think that the point of those rolls were to say, is there a way to Like, what is how do we maximize our chance of getting out without getting eaten?
Without getting eaten. Exactly what were you trying to look to see, Barber, before I answer the question?
Call me Jason. Basically, as I said before, I'm reading it from the core book. This potent evocation allows the fiend to read the tides of fate in her immediate area, and predict events and actions that are about to occur. If you need the mechanics, basically, take effect, protects the fiends from being taken by surprise, takes a character of normal initiative. Yeah, pretty much what Mark said.
All right. You know that if you attempt to go through the front door, you will. How will I phrase this? You will not come to harm, but it is not the path that you want to take. However, it is possible that there is another means of retreat, but in order to do that, you have to go forward in order to go back.
All right, Nick will then stop the two of them from touching the front door. That's not the way we want to go. You ever played a Chinese finger trap?
Push in, then pull out.
Yeah. So we have to go forward. At least for now.
Okay. Which Brian will start moving, but he'll go slow, mostly to let Nick kind of set the pace and steer, but at least take kind of a front point.
Yeah, Celia will let Nick take point on this. He seems to be the one who knows what the fuck's going on.
All right. So Nick, into the dining room or into the games room?
Well, the number of successes that he got, I think he'd probably be able to pick the best available option.
Ironically, it doesn't make a difference. Both of these paths will ultimately lead to the same place.
Considering he has a bit of portals, that does make sense. Yeah, he'll just simply shrug his shoulders. They both lead to the same place. Doesn't matter.
So there was the game room and the dining room.
He said it doesn't matter. They both lead to the same place.
Yeah. Dining room it is.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I thought you were just asking for clarity.
Yeah. Yeah. Dining room. Sound good?
Let's go.
All right. You will enter into the dining room, at which point the door will close behind you. It won't close violently, but it will close smoothly behind you. Now, I'd like to do a piece of roleplay with you all. So basically, on the table, it's rather unusual. You will see a table that is set for a main evening meal. And it has very, very fine cutlery, silverware, etc. There are also glasses that are filled. With a deep crimson liquid. It could be wine. You assume it's wine. And there are place settings at the table in question. There is one for each of you where your names are written on them. Your human names, not your celestial names. Don't worry about that. Are written on each one of the invitations on this card. One of the cards sits at each one of the seating positions at the table, and there is a covered plate that has been covered via a serving pan. So it's something you lift up to conceal food.
Celia looked at the two of them. This is unexpected.
There is an additional place setting that is at the head of the table, so facing away from you. But in order to read the card that is sitting in front of it, you would have to walk around the table to read it. There is additionally, as I say, one door that leads out of this place. It's kind of a large double door that is very, very easy to open. You would assume it probably leads into the kitchen. There's a very verbal puppy.
Yeah. You know, it was funny. I was actually just thinking when we were starting the scene and you were describing the mansion that it sort of reminds me of Resident Evil.
It's almost like I played the Resident Evil game.
Did you complete the original?
Yes, I did, much to my hellish, why God.
Same here.
Mm.
Looks
So,
like some sort of mansion.
So, question: how do you choose to interact with the scene? Do you look under the serving dishes? Do you attempt to leave? Do you sit down? Do you take a drink? What are we doing here?
Well, for Nick, he's probably just going to just wander by the table, casually looking at the setup here and the fact that there is his actual name there.
Mm-hmm. As you walk to the table, you will see a fire start in the hearth, rather pleasantly.
Hmm.
Nice. Yeah, you should have been here before you came back, Evan. Anyway. Yeah. Yes.
Huh? What?
Nothing. We had a bit of a joke about telling the dog to shut up, and I had my assumptions about it, and they were all wrong.
No.
Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So yes, Nick will just look somewhat. He's not bemused at this whole thing, but it's kind of a case of, yeah, I can kind of see how and why this is happening.
Celia, for her part, looks at the two of them. So this person, like the inhabitant of this room, of this house, can also tell the future and that we would be coming, or
Could say that. Either that or it's toying with us.
That or the room. Yeah.
Then again, at least you and me, and Nick looks to Celia. At least you and me met them first, so it makes sense that they would more than likely put something here just for us.
she nods. There is that, yeah.
Do you still feel your senses being trapped in this room?
Are you asking me, or?
No, that's probably asking me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Evan, that is a good question. Senses still just extend straight to the wall?
Straight to the wall.
Yes. Down to each wall.
Unless someone else is going to walk in here, I don't think we need to. Maybe.
Well, there is a fourth place setting,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a fourth carriage.
Up to you guys. I don't want to keep dominating this scene.
Oh, that's fine, man. Celia will. She'll hold back for a moment. She's gotten into paranoid mode, so probably thinks that if she goes to the around the table to read the cards, like something bad's probably gonna happen. So she'll hold back for a moment.
Do you check underneath the serving dishes or anything of that nature?
Nope.
No.
Okay. I mean, you can just leave this room. You can go straight through into the kitchen via the servants' entrance door.
That actually makes sense. Celia will look at the others and says, if this place is the kind of place that I think it is, there would be a service entrance as well from the kitchen. Maybe we can get out that way.
Maybe.
Possible.
Is there anything popping up on 4C? I mean, I did get a fucking awesome roll with that.
Does it stay on, or do you have to do it for different things, or how does it function?
It goes, well, it continues. It stays in effect for a number of turns equal to the number of successes rolled. I think we've not even got past the first or second turn. Depending on what we're considering as turns, anyway.
A turn is in theory 6 seconds long.
6
but,
seconds, 6 minutes, entirely on the storyteller. But yeah,
it is saying that you have the option that this room is ironically safe, but once you leave this room, you have the possibility here to have a conversation, but once you leave this room, all bets are off.
yeah. Nick, in that case, he'll just like put his hands. If he can actually touch the two of them, he'll put his hands up and urging them to stop.
Yeah.
This place is a safe place. I don't know why. A conversation can be had here by someone.
Celia looks at him but nods. She's more than a little confused, but I mean, stranger things have happened, so she'll stop.
What is who's our host?
Sorry, Chris, did you say something?
No, not really.
Okay, and Jason, what did you say to me?
Yeah, Nick just like said out loud, "Who's our host?"
You get no answer.
He wasn't speaking to whomever. He was speaking to his fellow infernal. I should have made that clear. I'm sorry.
No worries. Celia will like take a deep breath and go, okay, well, let's find out. And then she will actually do the exact opposite of what I said before. She will walk over so she can look at the name on the fourth card.
Oh, you go and look at the name on the fourth card?
Yep. I probably shouldn't, but here I go.
No, it's quite interesting. The name on the fourth card is literally 3 small dots. Just dot, dot, dot.
She raises an eyebrow before she heads back to the others. There is no name on the card. She says it's just three dots.
Hey, Jason, that's immediately going to say something to you. Just saying. Well, something that doesn't have a name.
Nick will then look up at Celia, our host, the owner of the house. Remember when I told you that they'd given themselves over, that there was nothing inside of them?
She nods.
They were a puppet.
Yes.
That's the reason why there's nothing written on there.
The void, the personification of the void, of the darkness, and then she sighs, and then she remembers. She will tell them the same story that she found out the last time when she rolled a fuck ton of successes on an intelligence legacy roll, like about the whole before creation there was only emptiness, etc. She'll say, well, before before our Father created everything, there was only him and nothing. Hidden behind creation itself, this vast emptiness of nothing and of malice has existed ever since. And that is what I saw, what I felt the last time we were together, Nick, in the park.
I remember.
I think it was the park, right? Yeah. That is who's coming to dinner.
I tend to think of it more in the case of, well, do you give your pens, do you give your kitchen utensils special personalized names, even your favorite ones? Why would the darkness, why would the void do the same?
There is that.
It's not an insult to them, but I can't think of any better comparison.
It always amuses me, you know, the concept and the hubris of those who claim knowledge and yet must oftentimes swim amidst ignorance. This figure appears as a swirling miasma of darkness around the chair that is located at the head of the table with its fingers pented together. Welcome, gentlemen, to my humble home.
Suppose we should say thank you.
I am merely your humble host. Why don't you sit? Join me.
What are you serving?
Why don't you see?
You're the host.
Ah, of course. He will raise his hand, at which point all three of the serving dishes in front of you will basically lift into the air before they will come they will basically stack themselves one on top of the other. Okay, I've got a question, guys. This is going to be really esoteric. What are all of your favorite foods? Like your favorite main meal foods?
What, OC or IC?
IC.
I don't know. Probably pizza or something like that. That's no good.
Yeah, I imagine Nick's. I imagine Nick's probably got a bit of a penchant for Burger King. Yes, I know he's a complete pleb, but then again, you know, he has conspiracy theories.
I'm going to emphasize this. What is your favorite food? Like, for example, this could be, for example, your mother's home-cooked goulash or something like that. It could be incredibly exact, down to the person who made it or the place it is from.
Well, I know nothing about Irish cuisine, so I would need to Google shit.
You don't have to necessarily have it be Irish. It can be from anywhere. As I said, it could be food from a specific restaurant, for example.
Yeah, like that one chippy that you went to, or that one diner that gave you that ridiculously large cheese sandwich.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Fuck that.
The one that's basically a slab of like mozzarella in between like two pieces of paper.
Would you like some? Yeah. Would you like some bread with your cheese? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So for Celia, it would probably be there's this really great Greek restaurant in the city that she's become fond of, and they make the perfect moussaka. It's almost divine.
All right, I got something for Nick. For Nick, it will be 2 slices of just your regular off-the-shelf white bread. And in between those 2 slices of bread, you have Hellman's mayonnaise. You have a generous couple of slices of Wensleydale cheese, and Worcestershire sauce crisps, Walkers.
Okay. And what about Carnage?
For Brian, his would be let's see, be a burger and hot dog grilled over like a wood grill, like someone cooking in their backyard kind of deal, with pepper jack cheese on the burger, ketchup, probably like one of the wheat buns for it. Then, you know, for the hot dog, it would have some chili, like homemade chili and cheese on it.
But you will find all of those seated rather happily under your serving dishes.
I was going to include something else.
Okay.
Beer-flavored milkshake.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Probably. I've never seen one personally, but I saw it in Red Dwarf once, so I assume that it is not completely 100% a lie.
I've made beer flavored milkshakes before.
I mean, speaking of weird things, I saw fish flavored ice cream in London once, so I'll believe anything.
What you do is you just like start
We're
with
living,
like
we're
vanilla.
living in a world where people put pineapple on pizza. I think that beer flavored milkshake is probably a thing.
Yeah.
And we're just driving Evan deeper into despair.
It's fine. I was already pretty deep in there. But yes, that is what is seated underneath it, and it is all cooked to perfection. Do you eat it? Or do you partake in it at all?
Well, we've got to sit down in the chairs first.
Yes. Well, no, you don't. In theory, you could eat standing up.
Yeah, but that's rude.
That would be rude.
I think Nick will probably, considering the circumstances, he'll pull the chair. He'll pull his particular chair up. But he's only going to sit down as soon as everyone else pulls their chair out and begins to sit down with him.
Yeah.
He's not going to be like Billy No Mates in this.
Yes.
Billy what?
Billy No Mates.
Yeah. So I guess Brian will. Yeah.
Yes, Celia will sit down as well. Yeah.
There's a smile on the face of the vampire. You can see his fangs quite obviously from where he is sitting. He doesn't eat or drink. He never touches anything outside of the confines of his chair. But he will say, such civilized company. Though I'm surprised. I didn't think that my guardian would have to be released from its cage. However, it would seem one of you was over anxious and called upon some very negative powers. Congratulations on dooming your friends. I don't know if Mark is there.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
So, sorry. Like Celia will just listen and like try to. She won't speak. She will listen and weigh her words carefully when she decides to speak.
My. So, this is what we have. 3 lost little sheep who turned their back on their father long ago. How poetic. Now, you want to leave, I think. You want to scurry, flee. Well, I can understand that mentality. I truly can. So, I will make you a deal. You can leave right now. I will open the door. However, that means in my opening the door, you let loose everything else that is in this house. And it will surge out. And it will do what it will. So, if you wish your absolution, your, how would one phrase it, your cowardly withdrawal to be simple and easy, then many others will burn because of it. Now, I don't know if this is something that can weigh upon your souls. I personally don't care. But you understand that these are the times that we live in. Yes. Yes. So, the question is, can you slay the Jabberwock and make your sword go snicker-snack? Fascinating conundrum. I'm sure you'll agree.
Celia will look from one to the other. Do we? She won't say this out loud, but like, the question in her eyes is, do we believe this?
Why don't you ask your friend? He tends to be very good at seeing the future.
She looks at she looks more intently at Nick now, as if saying, "Do your thing."
Does he?
In the event he opens the gateway of this, he opens the door of this house, you see formless things, nameless things, things that are blacker than blackest night seeping out. You see them tearing and ripping. You hear screams lost to the veiled night without the stars. Pain. Immeasurable amounts of pain. It won't actually do anything in the wider scale. What is a few dozen human lives, after all? But you would be the ones who signed their death. Who signed their death warrants. You would be their executioner, as surely as the one who summoned forth the blackness in the first place.
Question is, would that entail their survival?
Entail your survival? Yes, probably.
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 It would probably allow us to, well, it would probably drive us out of this place, but there would be a heavy price for it.
Celia looks over at Brian, as if to gather his thoughts about it.
So, if we want to leave, you're saying we might get out alive?
Yes.
That is if you choose to
There
take
would
the
be a
easy
heavy
way.
price.
Yeah.
A price involving lives, which, well,
And
not
the
only-
other option.
What were the other options, Evan?
1 second. Sorry.
Like taking our chance against whatever devilry, pun intended, has been.
Basically, either that or you try to find your own way out. He's saying, I can give you the easy way out. There'll just be a price. I mean, hang on just a second. Jesse, this is the same scene. This is the continuation to the same scene you were in last time you scened with me. So you are, in fact, physically
Oh,
here.
thank you. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you very much. Yes, then he will listen to this silently, like a good little death wizard. Yeah.
Dead wizard. Pretty dead wizard. I tell you what, I need to just go and get a drink, so I will be back in a few moments. Needless to say, in the event you say yes, think that Evan will be good and be good GM and say if you accept this, there's going to be a mother of a whole hell of a lot of torment checks you're all going to have to make. Like Cornelly level.
Oh well, tormenting is so tormenting.
Jesse,
What do
do
you
you want
mean?
me to give you a summary of what's happened in this scene so far?
Yes, please.
All right. We started off with everyone manifesting apocalyptic forms. Low torment for everyone except
How
except Mark, who chose to go with the super spiky devil like pointy tail.
I got it. I understand the view of
And then
what a
lots
devil looks
of
like.
lots of lore of the patterns later. We figured that we can't go back the way we came because fate and reasons. So we had to come in here. There was a table with everyone's names, mortal names, of course.
Oh
not
God!
their
Just don't scare me.
And then we went to see the who was the host. They had no name. The host had no name. Lord Ishar has no name per se. And so yes, then they manifested, and we figured that Nick figured that there was a conversation about to take place, and so yes, everyone is sat down at the table with their favorite foods.
Okay.
But yes, we've just been presented. We can either take the easy route, which will get us out, but torment rolls, as mentioned, and alternative is Evan hasn't told what the alternatives are.
All right.
Yet, so yes, Laura Patterns is broken.
Yes, I know this. I knew this before we started this shit. I've done Lore of Patterns, remember?
Yes.
I know exactly why it's broken, and I also know why they didn't like me using it. You know why the Rev was so incredibly powerful, right?
Well,
One of the reasons he was incredibly powerful, yeah.
Yes, when you can do an evocation, which basically allows you to get 9 extra actions in a single turn, potentially.
Yes.
Anyway.
I told you, it's worse. It's not even 9 extra actions. If you use your brain well enough, you don't even have to do only one action and destroy the universe. Things just have to be aligned a certain way, but even that can be happening. It doesn't
I'll be
really
right
matter.
back, guys. BRB.
All right, so sorry, just continuing on. He sits there at the head of the table, and he has a kind of an easy smile as he says, "The other option is quite simple. You close the gate through which my pet is drawing its strength. If you can do that, then the protections on this place, well, needless to say, they will not be as protective, and you can leave. But that means you'll have to run the gauntlet to find the altar in question. Because one of you let my pet out. So now it's going to hunt them until such time as it's consumed their essence, sucked it dry. And then it'll see to the rest of you." So, Will you damn the innocent in order to see to your own flight? Or will you risk your own existences? I'm led to understand that when you have always existed, the concept of not existing is utterly petrifying. But will you risk everything in order to try and close a gateway so the innocent may live?
At this final moment, Karul talks, and he simply says, being a Faustian, I know exactly what deals are like. It doesn't sound like a deal. It sounds like an ultimatum sounds like an ultimatum instead of a deal.
And that's because when one has all of the power, one can feel free to create ultimatums. It's far more fun than making deals.
No, I disagree, but from a very foundational point of view, if you would find a way for us to make it acceptable and for us to accept it in a more, how would I say, way that is pleasing to both, then your deal is a acceptable one. However, currently we're in an impasse where you hold all the cards and have all the fun, and we have zero and none of it, which I understand is pleasing to you. However, very hard for us to accept in such a manner.
My. With words and tongue like that, you could have made a passable lawyer as opposed to a car thief.
Oh well, cars are there. They need to be brokered as well.
So, you have your choice. I can open the door now, or you can venture on, brave little adventurers. Choice is yours. I really don't care one way or the other.
It's not a choice. I think I've made my choice. Thank you very much. I will venture, hopefully with my colleagues. If not, they can make their choice. I hold no grudge against them. Yet.
So, what do your colleagues say? The easy way, the hard way? Shall you take the path of virtue or follow your own dark lord down to whatever dank pit he had wrought for you?
Celia will like take a deep breath and then look at everyone and says, I don't know about the rest of you, but if it is true, and I have no reason to suspect that it isn't what Nick here says, then the price is too high. We need to take our take our chance.
His Karul smiles, knowing that at least someone has a backbone.
Nick, lead us.
Like I said,
You've got the best chance of finding the portal.
I don't know. Does Foresee give him any idea?
Not really at this point, no. I mean, this has definitely been more than 6 turns.
Oh yeah.
Well, I could always evoke it again. Doubt I'll get that many successes, but you know.
If you venture, you can find the portal, but even the Foresee is not sure, mostly because Evan out of character cannot answer the question as to it is very possible some of you may die.
I expect to.
If you don't want to lose your character, you shouldn't play in a World of Darkness game.
And not only that, but oh my god, am I bad at this. Anyway.
If it helps, I hope you all have backups.
No, I don't, but I have a backup idea, so it's fine.
There you go. But no, you could find the portal. You can do it, but you're not sure if you will lose people along the way.
What the fuck? We'll keep Evan up for another couple of hours.
Yay! I don't get to sleep like a normal person.
Why not? No guts, no glory.
All right.
Exactly.
So you refuse. Who could say, maybe if your Lightbringer could see you now, he would actually feel some vestige of pride in his fallen soldiers.
At the mention of Lucifer's name, Celia visibly she tries to hide her distaste. She doesn't say anything, but her body language speaks volumes.
You assume that he is not in a prison of his own, or that he did not betray us. But then again, no one, not even you, knows the truth. No one except Lightbringer.
And I would argue his jailer, if he has one. If God is indeed God in his heaven, then he may know the answer. But I digress. Very well then. The food, for the record, you look down and you now see the fact that the food, which I'm sort of glad none of you ate, is now wriggling with maggots. You see the fact the wine is indeed blood that is clotted, coagulated, unpleasant and foul. At which point the two double doors that lead out into what is clearly the kitchen will slowly swing open, and he will say, I shall wish you all the best of luck, because I assure you, you will need it.
Luck is for losers.
What I need is to get out of this hellhole, with or without your help.
We shall see what we shall see. With that, the figure seated on the chair will simply evaporate once again as if black to black smoke.
Okay. We'll have to assume the worst. But they did say that all we need to do is just seal the portal.
Yep, which means we need to find it. And quickly.
Okay.
Do we have an idea what this portal looks like? Or do you assume it's just a door?
We shouldn't really make any kind of assumptions about this place, she says.
I agree.
It is foul in ways more unnatural than any of us have seen since the war, I assume.
Well,
On a side note, I will be back in just 2 minutes. I'm just going to go grab something quick to eat, so feel free to talk amongst yourself.
Okay. Right. First thing we do is maximize our chances of successes. Evoke whatever words you need to invoke.
At this
Whatever
moment, I believe our largest chance of success is sticking together. Also, you, Nick, at this moment are like our only true guide in this hellhole when it comes to direction sense.
In case something does come into confrontation with us,
I assume so, yes.
I'll try and help us avoid it if I can. But in the event that it's inevitable, all of you will have to do your best if you can.
Yes, I'm not very equipped to do this, but I was called upon to do this. I'm not a warrior like him, and he points out at our burly, cigarette-smelling brother.
Who his apocalyptic form has, which he's in, has cat-like fur and claws.
Oh, well, when you look at me, you look like a ghost-like angel.
Yeah. So,
Celia's apocalyptic form is basically Go
it's
on.
only low torment, of course.
Yeah.
High torment is quite different.
Yeah. At the moment, I'm in my high torment form. Scales,
Who?
Voice of the Damned, Wings, and Gaping Maw. And the
Scary.
host.
So, if we are trying to keep together, I'm pretty proficient with the lore of the flesh.
Is there something you can do for other people, or is it purely...
Yes,
That's interesting.
I could try to augment your physical body or your mental capabilities.
That'll be interesting.
See, I do have some kind of control of the lore of flame. She says that means that I can not create fire, but I can
Control it?
I can control it to a degree, yes. And that might be an advantage if we know. You probably wouldn't know about the weakness vampires' weakness to fire.
I do, actually. I have...
Oh, okay, that's fine. Yes, I have some control over flame. Sadly, when it comes to others, I do know the basics of the lore of Celestials, but that won't help us much here. Nor will that of Radiance.
I assume in this hellhole that most areas of the Veil are impenetrable. So I'm quite useless, I'm afraid. However, I do know how to deconstruct or decay certain things, as if we shouldn't leave any evidence behind if we need to be sneaky like. And of course, my sister is very good with blows of wind and things like that, and of course her handgun.
Somehow I feel that a handgun is not going to be much benefit here.
It's better than the little screwdriver I have in my pocket.
She chuckles. There is something to that, yes.
However, if I find somebody and I can find a screwdriver to be fitting right into an eye socket, I wouldn't hesitate. I hope all of you won't hesitate.
No,
Wonderful.
Yeah.
just not very good at that kind of stuff.
Celia gestures to her gaping maw and the host, the host of tiny little mouths on her, ready to bite down, and says, "Well, yum yum." Right.
Right. Well, what we have in defensive capabilities, so we may know what kind of direction we're going to go with our search. I assume, us being us, we will not easily go running around trying to hack and slash at everything we find.
No.
No.
Great.
We need to get out. That's what we need to do.
So, first and foremost is finding the portal, closing it, and then getting out.
Right. First, we need to figure out how we need to close the portal, because we might find the portal in a position where it needs to be closed very soon. And if we then have to find out how, it might take too long. So what do we know about this portal?
Well, until Evan gets back, we can't ask questions.
Evan is back. You can ask questions.
Until Evan is back with Jon Snow. Oh,
Yeah.
we're not Jon Snow anymore.
Yay!
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Continue.
Evan. All the questions about the portal.
Okay. Feel free to ask me questions about the portal.
All right.
All-
Karul asked, what do we, as a group, know about the portal? Since I wasn't here for the grander explanation, has it been mentioned that it looks like something? Is it a door or something? It's something basic knowledge that we have about this portal.
What Aishar said was it is the portal through which his pet or the house's guardian is basically draws its power from. That's all he said on the topic.
Ah, okay. Okay. That is actually pretty important. That means that the portal, or it's kind of a lock that keeps everything locked down. And if we don't destroy that energy, then we will be stuck here until we don't want to be. Danke, danke. Right, so then now I suggest we go for directions. So if we don't know what kind of energy we need to be destroying, we can't really go look for any knowledge, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Right.
I believe would it be sense congruence that I need to roll again?
Yes, you can do sense congruence.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Okay, it's enough successes. The location and an idea of when it will happen, and the event we're trying to detect is the lock or the portal being closed.
All right. The portal itself is located. It's actually pretty easy to find. It is through the door in the kitchen. There is another door that leads downstairs into what appears to be a basement or a root cellar, perhaps. On a side note, somebody in Louisiana having a cellar? Those mad bastards. Almost
Yeah.
like they can control the weather or something. Oh, wait. But it's down there. What was the other thing you wanted to know?
How to close the portal.
Okay. There are 7 points of power that power the portal. Destroying the points of power, they appear to be small stones, roughly about the size of your hand. They appear to be made of black onyx that have symbols carved into them. Destroy enough of those and the portal will fail.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, Nick will relay that. Kitchen, basement, root cellar.
Right.
9, 7.
Nee, het is super belangrijk deze.
Ongetwijfeld. Ik wil je gewoon eerst jou een knuffje geven. Hoi schat, ik ben thuis.
Hey Saskia.
Hello,
Christ, that's devil speak. That legitimately
Hey,
sounds like
Saskia.
you're trying to stop the
Hi,
off.
coming.
Right.
Sounds like you're trying to summon Cthulhu. I know fear. Okay.
Yay, we might not die now.
Wait a minute, does that, hang on. Does that mean that the Cthulhu cultists were all from Amsterdam?
Yes. I have
Everything
Suddenly-
makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
didn't know.
Suddenly, H.P. Lovecraft is no longer has. It somehow takes away the magic of H.P. Lovecraft now.
I was gonna say, hang on. What you're saying is
Mind you, he was from New England, so
wait, hang on. What's the name of the? Isn't it Relay? It's Relayan, I think, is the language in Lovecraft, isn't it?
yes.
Relia.
Relia. Actually, no, Relia was like the underground city.
Yeah. Well, New England is basically like what New Amsterdam was renamed, right? So it still makes sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, moving on.
Yeah. Good.
It's actually sublimely simple. This is not meant to be a mind-bending process. It is literally just destroy enough of the stones. You will take the portal will destabilize.
Destroy the Horcruxes. We win.
Yeah.
Destroy the
Well,
Horcruxes before it
so-
destroys us.
In all honesty, as somebody might mention that, Karul will simply say, I wish it was more difficult. This means that if the way to destroy it isn't difficult, then getting to the way to destroy it is more so.
Right.
We
You
keep
do realize
saying.
you're setting me up to say, do you know the way?
Yes. My brother, do you know the way?
The thing is, though, Nick Stuck, he is not the commander, but he knows the way.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
Nothing, we're just bantering.
Yeah.
Okay. So, since you know which way to go, let's go.
Yeah.
Because speed is probably of the essence.
Yes.
Karul
Last
looks
thing-
at Karul
Go.
looks at Nick and he's like, do it.
Okay. Right. I want to do 4C, if that's okay, Evan.
Okay.
Let's give myself. Oh, that is a disgusting number of 6. Let's go 3. 8 successes.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's interesting. You look into the future, and you see you guys destroy 6 of the 7 stones really quite easily. But you look around from your perspective in the vision, and you see the fact you can't find a 7th until you see the fact that the actual outline of the stones at the ground is such that at the peak point of the star, wherein the 7th would be located, well, the portal is sitting right on top of it. At which point you see a hand reached into the portal, and then a whole mess of screaming.
Okay. All right. Solutions. All right.
Can you explain what happened?
We'll be able to break these 6 of the seals, no problem.
What?
But the 7th one.
What's the 7th one?
Evan, repeat that for me. The 7th one can be found.
The 7th stone is on the other side of the portal. It's basically the anchor point. In order to reach it, you have to physically reach inside.
I understand. So this means that one of us needs to go inside the portal and destroy the last stone so the others can escape. So technically we have to, exactly like she said, we would have to make sure that not all of us get back. One of us will have to make a choice in order to face her no matter what. Because they will enter the portal, they destroy the stone, and then nobody can come back through the portal again once it's destroyed. Unless we find a way to destroy the stone, which is quite impossible to know where it is from this side. I think a silk rope around your waist won't work.
No.
On a side note, it's okay, guys. It's okay. You're all going to die there anyway because Saskia is here, and that's just how she rolls. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yay,
You're welcome.
we have a sus.
Yeah.
Woohoo.
Yay, imminent death.
Or maybe I
Oh.
should say I'm welcome.
Oh boy. Anyway, so now my sister's here.
Hello.
Can somebody please inform her of our imminent demise?
We gon'
Okay.
die.
Hang on, I'm going to have to refresh. My computer browser just did something really weird.
Okay, who wants to bring Saskia up to speed? Because God knows I don't.
Oh dear, what have you guys done?
Hmm.
We
Bad
more or
bits.
less. Well, let's see. When we first entered the house, we like me, Chris, and Jason, no, our characters decided something's fishy going on here. We probably shouldn't be in our squishy mortal form, so we turned to our APOC forms, which
Yep.
apparently set off a defense mechanism that more or
No.
less fucked the vampires.
No,
If I understood correctly.
it didn't go off when Nick or Brian hit APOC. It was when someone decided to call on a high torment APOC form.
That might have been it, yeah. So,
Who would ever do such a thing?
yeah.
Yeah. So, is it too late to run away from this hangout?
Yep.
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 Crap.
Like, to quote the plaque on Homer Simpson's wall, like it or not, you're here
You're
forever.
here forever, exactly. And then we just had dinner with Lord Ishar, who gave us the choice
What?
to be able to escape. But if he opened the portal for us so we could escape, it would more or less mean that many innocent people would die, and we decided no, that's not going to happen.
So instead, the deal was we have to figure our own way out, and part of that deal, as we so understand it from our lovely foreseer, one of us has to destroy a certain object inside the aforementioned portal.
I'm gonna interrupt you.
Meaning
I
that the
didn't hear
portal will
anything
close.
anymore. My computer froze up, and I didn't hear about 20 seconds of what you just said.
God damn it!
Yes, I know.
I hate repeating myself. Sorry.
What was the last thing you heard,
Yeah.
Saskia?
People dying, and then we had to figure our way out ourselves, and that's kind of where it cut out.
But in order to do that, we have to destroy 7 Horcrux, stones that kind of keep the portal here. So the 6 we can destroy no problem. The 7th is inside the portal. So basically, unless we find some other way to do it, one of us will have to stay. We'll have to go through the portal and destroy it, and thereby be trapped.
So why did
Yay.
we sacrifice 1 million people?
I wasn't there.
Clearly.
Short, long. Do you want the long version or the short version?
I mean, the world is overly populated anyway. We would miss 1 million.
Especially in Louisiana.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
Also, I do say there was nowhere was it mentioned 1 million people would die. I said people
Oh.
would die. The number was pretty
Oh.
ambiguous, and it was 1 million. Basically, it would mean that he said that if you want me to open the doors, all of the horrors of my house will be let loose on the people. So it would have a death toll. It would be unpleasant. They would be haunted by shadows and formless darkness in the night, and all that good shit.
And all that jazz.
Unpleasantness, more or less.
Okay.
Yeah, the short version is we decided to go with the this way because of the lulls and because we wanted to keep Evan up for another couple of hours.
That too.
Basically.
That is fair. Okay, cool. I'm up to speed. Move along.
I love how no one thinks of my sleep pattern.
You think of your
You
sleep pattern.
presume we have one as well.
There's no such thing.
I was going to say Silent 7, you can sleep when you're dead. Oh, dear. Okay.
Yep.
So with this in mind, it is pretty self-evident. It is pretty painfully obvious to find wherein you may locate the door that leads down into the door that leads down into the basement. It's not difficult at all. As you venture down the rickety wooden steps, you can hear literally every kilogram of weight you place on them, with that. You suddenly become aware of the fact that there is no light down here whatsoever. It is entirely dark. So dark, in fact, that its inky blackness is nearly impossible to see through. The tiny amount of light that is emanating from the door doesn't even seem to cut through the darkness down here. So you will need to provide or produce some form of light.
Does someone have a lighter?
Yes,
Celia?
someone smokes here, obviously, so he is a lighter.
I
Can
don't know what
I-
you're talking about. I don't smoke.
Can I borrow the lighter?
Yeah. Brian will hand you. He will not hand you his Zippo because you're not worth a Zippo. He'll hand you a Bic lighter. He'll hand
Okay.
you one of his Bics.
Okay, fair enough. See, how do I then do Lore of Flame?
Lil will turn on like the lamp on her cell phone. You know.
Stamina survival, or what is the role for Lore of Flame?
It's pretty interesting, by the way, Saskia. When you put on the light on your phone, it's as if the shadows are trying to snuff out the light.
Stamina survival. Okay, two die. I have no survival, guys. So 2 dice of roll. This can either go decently or very, very badly. Wish me luck.
Fuck. Don't die, please.
I botch.
That just means you lost a point of faith.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
But otherwise, it doesn't do anything.
Well, then I don't. Then I'm gonna stop using faith for tonight because I only have 1 faith dot left, and I don't want to lose that.
Okay, important question. Did you open the Zippo lighter? Or did you click on the lighter itself?
I mean, I tried to use Lore of Flame. I tried to use the lighter to like amplify its light. So I clicked to get the flame up, and then I tried to amplify it.
When fire is introduced to the scenario, what happens is the darkness recoils almost as if it is in physical pain. At which point Celia is engulfed in dark flames and will take 3 points of ag damage.
So scales, can that help me soak it?
Yes, it
I
can.
soak it.
Yes, that gives me 4 dice of soak in addition to my stamina, so that's 6 dice.
Wait, does your APOC form actually have the expressibility to let you soak aggravated damage?
I have the scales part of my APOC form.
Yeah, that's fine. But scales provide armor soak, which is different to your ability to soak.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The scales ability says that it gives you 4 dice to soak any bashing lethal or ag.
Yeah, that's because it counts as armor, but that doesn't factor in your stamina also soaking ag, which is a separate power in the
Okay,
APOC form.
Okay, so it's 4 dice, not 6.
Yes.
Or 1. Okay, good. Sorry.
That actually reminds me. No one ever told me how much the buying additional apocalyptic form traits cost.
That is not my wheelhouse. You are not my monkeys.
I get 3 successes.
Oh,
All right. You soak all of the aggravated damage.
Yay!
You're still on fire.
Ouch! Can someone put me out, please?
Does anyone reach forward in an attempt to touch him to put him out?
Nope.
No, he has, or she has Lore Flames and can use that herself.
Oh yeah, I can actually listen. I can actually.
Control flame, yes.
Yes, I can.
It's like epic.
In which case, I will try again. But I can't use faith this time because I will try to like get the flames to go away.
Okay.
And I succeed. At least I get 1 success.
Woohoo! That's enough to reduce it by like
To-
160 yards.
This fire does not feel natural, of course. It feels sickly and otherworldly, but you are indeed able to buffet the flames away. You kind of get the idea that maybe fire in this environment is not big or clever for your continued survival.
Well, that was unpleasant. She says when she gets up.
It didn't look very nice either.
Well, she tosses the lighter back to Brian. It was worth a shot.
Toss it in the pocket. Okay, so
So how far does my cell phone light goes? Because
Not very far, about like half of the distance it would normally, and it seems to strain to do that.
It still works. It is still
Yeah.
something. It's more than putting yourself on fire. Yay, technology over ancient powers.
I was gonna say, if you have that mindset, you and the Anarch Baron should sit down and have a conversation. It's pretty, you know,
I would love to. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
No.
there you go.
But no.
It's fine. Don't get me wrong. See, everyone misunderstands him, except for Jason, who I think works for him now.
Saskia, brother says no.
No, I said no. Jeez.
You never
Wuff,
know.
wuff.
Okay, good boy.
Fuck you.
No, thank you.
Duh.
Maybe later.
I'm just gonna sit over here while these two have a marital dispute. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yes.
Sorry,
Grumble.
we're done.
That's fine.
Sort of.
Above you, a sickly green light will start to illuminate where you are standing, and you will see the following. Give me just one moment. My minicam is being slightly odd. There we go.
Still
I
check.
should really just buy. I should just buy a premium minicam. It's on my to-do list.
Meh.
Not worth it.
Eh.
I mean, it might be worth it, but why do you make us pay
Well,
for stuff?
I mean, it's all right, Saskia. It's all right. I don't mind. It's fine. You see, this is where you were standing when my minicam decides to actually want to work. There we go.
Ooh. Very nice.
It leads down, very, very quite far. It takes you about 5 minutes of walking down the looping staircase before you eventually come to the bottom.
Actually, I think almost all of us can fly, so it's like 1 minute. But yeah.
I was going to say, actually, hang on. Do all of you have wings on your APOC forms?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. Somebody can carry Brian.
Exactly.
I mean,
Flappity flappity flap.
why would
I
I
mean-
buy a platform?
I'm sure he could use the Lord of the Flesh to grow himself wings.
Well, that would take too long.
That
But
would
I've
be
got-
cheating good.
Well, I technically have Lore of the Fundament, and I can use manipulate gravity in
Yes, actually, that would work even better than wings.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
diff 8 or 9, but you know, it could do the trick.
Why would it be diff 8 or 9 for manipulate gravity? It's just
And
diff
it-
6.
Because hanging motionlessly in the air is diff 9 off the top of my head. I don't know exactly for sure.
Yep.
And
Unless you have wings.
And if you fail that roll, it's a long way down.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna die. Splat.
Way down.
I was gonna say, this reminds me of
It's a long way down.
I will tell a funny story when we're done at this hangout. But you will find yourself at the bottom, where you will find 6 stones that have been placed in a odd configuration to look like a pointed star. At the point of the star, there is what appears to be a small tear, a small rift, a small portal that goes between here and somewhere else, though all you can tell is it is as black as nebulous night.
I take position behind my sister.
Of course.
So I
By the way, just a quick question because I wasn't entirely there. Was there any real reason to go into APOC form other than it looks dangerous?
Hmm.
Well,
That's a
that was
very
a
good
bonus.
question, Saskia, with a very complicated answer, which basically is, well,
I mean, yes or no?
It
No,
was
no.
it was a no. They
Yeah.
just thought it was dangerous
Then,
to let through
yeah,
an APOC form.
then Lil is not in APOC form.
oh, okay.
Well, Nick had a good reason. He wanted to get bonuses for his Lord Patton's rolls.
Meh.
What the hell are you doing, Chris?
Filling up his vape.
Oh, sorry, I just couldn't see you.
I was going to say this is a pain Saskia may know all too well.
No, I never vaped.
Oh,
If it makes you feel better, I'm in the slow process of switching to 0 milligrams. That way I can eventually quit.
Sore topic right now. Let's continue with the story.
if it helps Saskia,
No.
you can do it. I believe in you.
No, it does not help.
Okay.
There can be miracles.
Oh
That
God,
does not help at all.
the singing starts.
Yeah.
When does the hurting stop?
Brian will look at Nick. This it?
Yeah,
Guys,
6 of them. And then
Them on
one
the
inside the portal.
right. I guess Brian will kick us off if no one's going to do it. I assume they're visible.
All right, so guys, you become okay. So the first one you go to, Brian. Give me just a second. What you do is you. Yes. As you are about to bring your fist or your claws down on one of these stones, you see a flash in your mind's eye. You see a flash of a church with many people, their heads bowed in prayer, their voices raised in song to the Almighty. You then see green fire consuming their bodies, though leaving everything else entirely intact. You hear their screams as their bodies immolate from the inside out. You see the priest run forward in an attempt to save his flock, to provide them some semblance of succor in this time of absolute heartache. You see him fall to his knees, and you hear him cry out to any god who will listen. However, the world remains still and stum. You see a smiling figure stand at the back before he will walk forward and carve an odd sigil into the into the altar. The sigil will glow green. The sigil is the same sigil that is currently upon the rock that is about to be cut in twain by you. You see all of the souls, ephemeral souls, ripped from the bodies of these now deceased people, powering this mark, drinking in their essence. It glows with a luminous, cancerous green light until it is sealed. Then you see the priest finally on his hands and knees be given the mercy of death, having experienced all the pain, sadness, the death of those he cared for. He was humbled before God, a God who didn't care, who did not answer his prayers. And upon that rock, you simply see the small etched rune in the Enochian for humility. You will all see this when Brian brings his claw down and cuts the rock in two. Every one of you here will see what I have seen. Those of you who have seen the church in question recognize the inside. You have seen, for example, Nick, I believe, is the one who's seen the inside of the church. That was the mark that was destroyed, leaving the people to leaving the church in question that started all this.
Alrighty then. I'm happy I never picked that up.
Yep. Which, I mean, Brian's going to keep swiping at the glyphs until something stops him.
All right. You then see, as he swipes the next one, you will see a pattern. Beg your pardon?
Because Ag is very effective against stone.
These things do not have health levels. You are destroying them as narrative. The next one you swipe at, you will all be gripped by another vision. You will see 3 inmates, 3 separate people who are all dressed in hospital garb. You will see them scream, you will see them cry, you will see them rip their hair, tears pouring down their faces as they try to convince the doctors that what they're seeing is real. They're not hallucinating, that there is a man dressed in white, covered in crimson, who's stalking them through the halls, who is ripping them, who is tearing them, who is scattering their remains asunder. That they are seeing this, that they're not just mad. The doctors have to believe them. And for their troubles, they're sedated and thrown in 3 padded cells, one next to each other, one by one by one. Until the next day they are found, all together in one cell, their bodies indeed torn and ripped, as on the wall scrawled many thousands of times they have, "He sees us, he is here, the man in white." And on that stone you will see diligence. After all, they saw, and no one believed them.
Sorry, what was the first word? I'm trying to write along.
Humility.
Humility and
Thank you.
diligence now.
Almost right. Sorry, I suck.
There
No,
are
you're not a
others
vampire.
here. There are others here gathered, though these do not necessarily create any images in your minds that they're destroyed. You see the room for temperance, for charity, for patience, and for chastity. And one is still missing.
And chastity, Alec.
Faith.
Seven seal.
Can I make a logic roll as I see the 6th, which, well, not sins, but the 6 virtues?
Yeah. Or a religion check.
Sorry?
Religion is actually a skill on the sheet.
Oh, right. Then please be logical and do what I already see.
I was going to say, I'm happy for you guys to make the connection because it's a pretty big doctoral thing.
Yeah.
It's also goddamn obvious.
I'm going to say, and bear in mind, another thing that I believe a handful of you know, there were 6 locks.
Oh, yeah.
On the outside.
There were 7 locks. Lord Aishar spoke about 7 locks to open the gate.
Uh-huh.
So we need to find out which one is missing, which is... And then people need to make a roll.
I believe it's faith, right? Or
No, he's right. It is kindness.
Kindness.
Oh, okay.
Ew.
You can almost see the sick irony that kindness is placed beyond the reach of man.
Yes.
Question. Does my sense extend past the portal? Or does it stop right there?
Stops at the portal.
Okay. Along all the walls. Oh god, probably what I sensed in the inky blackness was gross. I don't want to think about that. Ugh. I don't want to know what I felt in the inky blackness.
Oh, sorry. There's one other thing I needed to point out. On the in the last one that you saw, the one for diligence, there was another green mark on the. There was another bright green runic mark, like there was for the first, like there was for humility. The one for humility was destroyed when a Bible came crashing down, as Nick knows. The one for diligence was destroyed when the candle it was imprinted on was burned down to nothing but wax by the next morning. So, sorry, there is that. Continue.
So, how do we want to get the 7th?
Well, somebody of us needs to do an act of kindness and get to the portal and destroy it. The most annoying part was that while you were busy doing your handiwork, I kind of forgot that it would have been smart to leave one of those 6 stones here and use that one to deactivate it instead of the 7th inside.
I will remind you, Nick, by the way, that there was nothing in your vision about stepping through the portal. You saw somebody reach their hand through the portal.
Uh-huh.
We don't have to step through the portal, we just have to reach our hand through it.
Also, is logic a skill on the demon sheet?
We have intuition.
I was going to say, yeah, make me. Anyone who wants to make it, make me an intelligence intuition check.
Nick,
good,
I
good,
think that's what you have many
Yes,
votes on.
yes, and a reduced difficulty as well. You say intelligence intuition.
Yes.
Okay.
Difficulty 6.
Alright, it'll get reduced to 4 with this one. I'll spend a willpower point anyway because fuck, why not? Oh, not that I fucking needed to. Look at this shit. 1, I think...
1, 2,
would his intuition specialty of luck apply to this?
No, it wouldn't really.
So, I guess that means you only got 7 plus your willpower, so 8 successes on it.
Yes, 8 successes.
So, Lord Aishar was bigging up his guardian thing, but yet you haven't seen one. Where is it? Why hasn't it made its presence known?
If I have an intelligence check, which is going to be horrible, can I understand that the one who might stick his hand through the portal might be the next guardian?
Or the guardian is waiting for whoever sticks their hand through.
That's entirely possible.
Did I take?
You can both make those leaps of logic if you'd like. So, would anyone like to put their hand through the portal?
Can you describe once again what the portal looks like? Is it like a big shadowy black hole that I can't see through, or?
It's quite small, actually. It's only about the size of your. It's only about the size of your hand could fit through it, but you couldn't fit the rest of you in by any means. It looks like an inky black blot, basically in space, ostensibly.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to use my overconfidence and just do it. I think I can do this.
All right. You reach in and you grasp something that looks and feels like the stone in question.
All right. I'll need to destroy it. I believe that's what I have been led to believe. So I will try and crush it.
Okay. Basically, these are not necessarily stones. They're more like charcoal. So it crushes quite easily in your hand. Do you withdraw your hand?
Yes.
As you do so, you see the fact that there is a glowing green rune on the stone that you just crushed that says kindness.
All right.
The other ones were not glowing green.
Uh-oh.
However, kids, what was glowing green?
The symbol on the stone that was wrecked.
The fire above that lit the way.
Yeah, the fire that engulfed Celia when she tried to light
No,
the way.
the fire that engulfed Celia was black. However, the rune that was located on both the altar on the church and the black candle in the mental asylum were both glowing green.
Yeah.
When you remove your hand, you feel a wash of energy just boom, out from you. You will all regain up to your maximum permanent faith as this energy washes over you and you start to eat it. It basically becomes a part of you. However, for the two or three of you have felt this feeling before. You feel a tug. You feel as if there is something pulling you very briefly, as if there is something latched onto your souls and is openly tugging you ever so slightly. You are not physically pulled, however you feel it. Some of you will remember this feeling. It was the exact same when you saw It was the exact same when you were at the church when one of the marks was destroyed.
So wait, all of us feel this, or just some of us?
Yes, because after all, kids, you came down here because of an act of kindness.
Yes.
Because you didn't want others to die.
Yes.
I want others to die.
Well,
damn
no, you weren't there. It's fine.
Fucking hell.
Okay.
Lily's just looking at Karul like, really, bro? Really?
Come on, what can be so bad? Let's get this over with and go home.
You have nothing to say to me about anything anymore.
What?
You will hear from high above you a very slow clapping.
Oh, we get a slow clap. Great.
Yeah.
I just wanted to thank you all for helping me on my way. 3 seals down, only 4 to remain. Thank you so much. Until next time, my friends, I shall remain yours. But needless to say, I don't wish to disrupt you. After all, if you're not out of here before the clock finishes its toll in about, well, 5 minutes' time, the house will be dragged back from whence it came.
Can I lure of wind this guy?
Yes, you can if you like.
We need the Lore of Winds our ass out of here. I'm starting to make my movement back.
Yeah. Does anyone have portals?
No.
Yeah, but not at that pace. I do have Law of Patterns, though.
Yeah, we need. I'm not gonna wait for Lore portals or patterns. I'm moving quick
Yeah.
right
yeah.
now.
Hauling ass.
Yes.
Hauling ass in the sense of, well, we've got to get up real fast, don't we?
Yeah.
The word is run.
The word
is fly.
Right, fly. Well, I'm not sure indoor flying is really easy. So
I mean,
go, flying, hoovering, whatever.
Yep.
Go gadget wings.
Yes.
actually, you said there was literally like a voice above us, right?
Yeah.
Do we see anything or anyone there?
You see a very a figure that is composed entirely of darkness, though it is speaking with Aishar's voice, so you can take that with a grain of salt.
Awesome. So it's above us.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to
I'm already on the way.
spend the point of faith,
Mm-hmm.
use lore of fundaments to spend a point of faith to get into APOC form.
You're already into APOC form. You can claim that. Everybody was
claimed I
already in
didn't.
APOC form.
As you just said that she wasn't.
Okay.
Yes, you did.
Sure.
Yeah, I did. Going to use lore of fundaments to kind of propel myself towards this dude. I'm gonna fucking kill this dude. I don't care.
Okay. Remember what happened the last time somebody threw something at him?
Oh no.
I
I'm
remember.
gonna throw myself at him.
That's fine. You throw yourself at him. You go straight through the shadowy figure as if it's not there.
I mean, maybe you want me to actually roll to see if I reach him.
I mean, I'm entirely happy to say that you reach him because he's not there.
Okay, fine. That's cool. In that case, you'll just use the extra power to kind of, because you need to go up anyway.
Yeah.
How far
All right.
up did we have to go?
It took you about, as you pointed out, it's about a minute straight up if you can fly.
Yep.
So the first jump is enough to cover.
We're going to assume that someone will give you a lift.
Well, so the first roll was enough to get 120 feet and make myself immune to the effects of gravity,
That's nice.
which are not 120 feet, 120 yards. Or no, 60 yards, which is 180 feet.
I have no idea what any of those things mean, but
It's
60
it's
meters.
It's
Oh,
enough
okay.
to cause that doggo.
Yes. There's 60 meters to do it. Anyway, at this point, kids, we're going to end our scene because this means that we're now the next one is going to be part 3, where you all have to physically leave the house. So that will be back with the vampires. So thank you, players playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.